So I was listening to the senator's opening comments on this legislation in general, and jotted down that somehow this bill is an opportunity for more voting. And now I'm looking at the amendment. And I was hoping that perhaps some of the grievous things in the original bill would be addressed in this amendment, but they are not. We like to throw the word integrity around quite a bit, and if you look it up in the dictionary, integrity is the quality of being honest. So let me pose this question to all of you. Is there more opportunity for voting when you're closing the polls an hour earlier? Currently, they close at 9. We're going to close them at 8 in this amendment. Are we giving the voter more opportunity to vote when, if your ballot is not in by 8 p.m. election night, other than a certain population, it will not be counted? If this had been the law in 2020, senators, wake up, 6,500 votes would not have been counted. How is that an opportunity for more voting? When you condense, the current bill says 18 days before an auditor can mail the ballot out. Now we go to 20. 3 years ago, it was 40 days. 40 days before an election, the auditor could mail an absentee ballot out to a voter who requested one. Then we moved it to 29. Then the bill moved it to 18, and now we're going to move it back up to 20. You do understand, when you shrink the amount of time to 20 days when a ballot is mailed out, the pressure you are putting on your local auditors and on that voter, if for some reason they make a mistake, like they fail to sign the affidavit form, and to get them in that office to sign it so their vote can be counted. You are condensing everything and putting more pressure on your local election officials. Yes, we had a record turnout in 2020 in spite of a pandemic. But it was a record turnout because our county auditors and their staff and the hundreds of volunteers who worked at the polling sites and the extra volunteers, I know my auditor, and they were volunteers, that they pulled into the office and trained to help manage the explosion of mail ballots could be handled properly. They busted their chops to make sure that voting and mail voting was more convenient and more accessible, and that the polling sites for those who chose to vote on election day were safe. That's why we had a record turnout. Maybe you forgot. In the primary, the Secretary of State sent out an absentee ballot request to everybody who wanted. They just mailed them out. Record turnout in that primary. People vote when you make it convenient and accessible and easy. This bill does absolutely nothing but attempt, and neither does this amendment. It is shrinking. It is squeezing the ability for mail elections to be successful and to squeeze them right out of existence. That is not an expansion of an opportunity. I am going to ask you to vote no on this amendment.